everybody, it's Check the Effects coming at you with another Minecraft tutorial, and today we're going to be going over something that I've been meaning to do for quite some time, and that is smart rail systems. Yes, smart rail systems. This is where you have a completely autonomous minecart train. Now, I know a lot of people, they say that they've had smart rail system Minecraft or on YouTube. I'll be honest with you, I have never ever saw anyone develop a system like this. A truly smart rail system where you have a minecart train which behaves like an autonomous vehicle. So if anyone who knows about Tesla or car manufacturers like them, I think also Volkswagen and a few other companies, they have completely autonomous vehicles where you can actually let the vehicle drive by itself. Google also has their Google car as well that drives itself. This is basically a system that is able to make multiple decisions in order to navigate across multiple intersections and then have multiple stations be able to interact with each other, communicate with each other in terms of logistics. If you ever see someone who claims that they have a smart rail system, I know one example, they said they have a smart rail system, and what happens is you go from point A to point B in a single passenger minecart, and then when you get out of the minecart, that minecart then ends up going all the way back to point A. That's not really what I would call a smart rail system because it just does one thing, right? It takes from point A to point B and then goes back to point A. What I'm looking at is basically where you can go from point A to point B or C or D just by telling the system where you want to go, hopping in your minecart, and then it'll assemble a cargo train or a passenger train of your choosing, whichever one you want, whether it's a passenger train or a cargo train. It'll assemble it, and then it sends you off to your destination, traversing over multiple intersections, which will automatically switch according to where you're headed. And all that information is being stored in your minecart train itself. So without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. Now, before I get into the advanced stuff and the actual meat of the tutorial, what I'm going to go into is some basics for most of you newbies or anyone who's new to Minecraft, anyone who's new to Redstone, or doesn't really understand how it works, or doesn't understand how rail switching works. So we're going to go through the basics of that. So to start that off, what I'm going to do is we have a railway like this, and if I put a track like this, you're going to see it favors going east and south. Okay, despite all four directions there, it's going to favor east, like eastward and southward direction. You see from here it says I'm facing south here, and also here you can see I'm facing east over there. Okay. Now, if I went ahead and let's say I took off this one here and this one here, took this one here, put it there, it would still be the same. If I put this like this, it's still the same. Now, if I take off one of, let's say I take off this one here, let's say I take off the east one and put it in the north, now it's going to go south and west, right? So you see west direction here, south direction there, right? So it's always going to favor the south direction in this way, right? So let's say I take the south one off and then I put these two in and I put north, now it's going to favor the east and north, okay? And the only time that you can have it going north and west is by taking off this one completely, putting this in, and then putting one of these in like that, right? Or you can even do like this if you want to. Mind you though that you can never have it going straight, it's always going to curve in this case, okay? So let's say you want to have a rail that switches. So how do you do that? Well, what I can do is I can get a lever like this, and I can put my redstone dust like this, or let me just put a little bit closer. I can just put my lever right here, and then there you go, it switches. So right now I power the lever on, and that forces the track to switch from north to west and west to north, right? And then I unpower it and it goes back to its default state where it would prefer to go, right? Same goes if I were to do it this way, put a rail like this, and on this side put that there, and then again you see it switches that way. And this will work for all four, all 3 or 4 configurations that you can get. So then if I take this out here, now another thing you can do is you can also put the lever down here, take some redstone dust, and then power that, and then it's going to switch. Okay. anytime that you have this block below the track receiving power, it's also going to switch that way as well. So if I put my lever over here, you see it switches. You can actually put a redstone torch like here and then put redstone dust in there, and then you have power showing straight into this. If you have it sitting right next to here, the redstone torch itself, it's not going to have any effect whatsoever because it's just the power is not pointed into this, right? So we want to have it pointed into this with some redstone dust like this, or a repeater, or you can even put a comparator, okay? Whatever the case may be. Now, another thing you can do is have the power directly underneath. So for that, I'm just going to show you here. So if you look at that right now, it's going east and north. If I put a redstone torch underneath it, which is under this spot right there, it's going into that. Now it's going to go north and west, right? So it's switched. Not only that, it's stuck like that unless you depower the redstone torch by applying power under this block right there, okay? Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to keep this here, and we're going to move on to the next part of the tutorial, which is the actual meat. So, before we get started, I want to lengthen this out and create a ramp. So, let's see, a little bit more like that. That's good. I'm going to create myself a ramp that goes up about 7 or 8 blocks high. Let's say, right? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's more than enough. I'm going to add myself some powered rails. Take that off and put a redstone block there. Oh, sorry, a regular block there. Take my lever and put that there. Now it's going to switch on and off. Powered rails, they are rails that basically do not let minecarts to move over them unless they have power to them. They also, once they're powered, they offer a boost to the minecart's speed and momentum, allowing it to go faster and keep on going over long distances. Because over regular rails like this, the minecart is eventually going to lose momentum as it slows down on these types of rails. Now, what I also, let's go ahead and put this on here. Put your rails right across. And another thing I want to discuss is what type of train we're going to be using. So we're going to be using a train of minecarts that looks kind of like this. Let me get myself a minecart here with a chest in it. And what we're going to do is, it's either going to be like this or it's going to be like this. Okay. The main point is that you have at least one passenger cart at the back and 2 chest carts at the front. So 2 minecarts with chests in them in the front. This one is practically a don't care. It can be either a regular chest cart or it can be a minecart, right? So it can be either a regular minecart or a minecart with a chest in it. So it doesn't really matter which one it is, okay? Now for the demonstration purposes, we're going to be using this type of configuration. This is what I like to call a cargo train because the majority of these are minecarts with chests in them, okay? So as opposed to if it was like this, this type of configuration is what I like to call a passenger train because you've got 2 spots for players to sit in and you've got just 2 chest carts in there. In either one of these configurations, the lead cart here, the lead cart with the chest that is the brain of your train. This is the one that's going to contain all the information about your trip, about your journey, about your point of origin and the point of destination. Okay, so this is the brain, and we're going to be referring to this as the lead cart. Now, for this tutorial, you're going to need all the stuff that you see in here, right? So you're going to need some rails, some powered rails, a lever, some hoppers, some redstone comparators, some redstone repeaters, redstone torches, redstone dust, as well as some quartz block edit. But this a basic building block is what you're going to need in this particular situation. You're also going to need a button, some minecarts, minecarts with chests, some filler blocks for which I have chosen grass that I've renamed to filler for the purpose of this tutorial, an anvil so you can do the renaming, as well as some other stackable blocks or items that you can rename according to which point of destination you're going to be using. So for this tutorial, we're going to be having 2 ways that we can go as typical with any type of switching mechanism. However, we're going to say that we have 3 points of destination. We're going to have station number 1 as well as station number 2 and 3, where station number 1 is in that direction over there, and station number 2 and 3 are down that way. So we're going to assume there's going to be another switching mechanism somewhere down there. So we're just going to imagine that. Okay. Now to start off with the tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to take your basic building block. This has to be something other than glass or anything that doesn't conduct redstone current. So it has to be something that will conduct redstone current. So I'm using quartz, but you can use wood or stone or anything else you want to do. So we're going to take this and we're going to put 2 blocks like this, and we're going to put another block like this. So this is going to be where our points are for our destinations. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out like this, these 2 out like that. I'm going to take my hopper and I'm going to put hoppers in like so. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is replace my rail back on top of my hoppers. And I'm then going to take this and I'm going to make this little configuration like so. Most of you who have seen my tutorials from previous videos will probably recognize what I'm doing right now, along with most of you pro redstoners or redstone engineers. You'll probably recognize what this shape is. Okay, and for those of you who can't, try and figure out what these are. Let's see if anyone can figure out what it is I'm building before I finish it. So I've got comparators, redstone dust, and then I'm going to have repeaters facing in this way, one over there, and one over there. And then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 right across there. Okay, and then I'm going to get myself a block, put that up like this, and put that like that, and down here, and actually below this. Okay. Can anyone figure out what I just built? These are item filters. For those of you who figured that out, congratulations. So that means you've been paying attention to my previous tutorials. Good for you. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Another thing I almost forgot is I'm going to need a chest for this particular tutorial. So I'm going to put that in there. Whoops. Let's grab one like that. And I'm going to put my chest right there like that. And next I'm going to take another hopper. I'm going to put hoppers right down like this. And then another one is going to go right into the side of this one like that. So you end up with something that looks like this from below. Okay, that's the configuration you're going to need. So we have 1 item filter for every destination. Here's 1 for station 1, and here's 2 of them here for station 2 and 3. Okay, so this one is going to make it switch one way, and this is going to make it switch the other way. Okay. So next I'm going to go ahead and take some blocks. I'm going to put them out like this. Take that out, take this out, put that there. I'm going to put comparator here, redstone repeater here, redstone repeater there. Okay. Now I'm going to build myself a latch. So I'm going to take my latch, I'll make a latch build like this. That. I don't need this or this, and I don't need this bottom one here. Take my redstone torches, put them in like this, and then just take one there, take one there. There we go. And now I have to hook up this side, so I'm going to put a, oops, put my repeater back, repeater over here, take this and extend it out, and like so. There we go. Okay. So that's that connected. Next thing you do is you want to bring that into here. So remember I had this inverter here, so like a block with a redstone torch, which is powering that one above, which is forcing it to go opposite from what it wants to go. So I'm going to take the signal from there, and I'm going to put that all the way in. So I'm going to take the signal from here, and I'm going to put that all the way into there. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to take this out like so. This and go up like that. Okay, now I'm going to take a signal going out like that, just make one go one way and have that come out like this. and I'm going to take another repeater and put that there so it becomes hard powered. So you want to make sure, of course, that this is no less, so you want to make sure that this line of redstone is no more than 14 redstone dust long. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 there. That's less than 14, so we're good. If it's more than 14, you're going to have to take your repeater and then put that at the end of the 14th redstone dust, so that the signal can propagate even more, even further. Okay, so let's see, that should be about right. So let's see, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go get our anvil, take our anvil, put that down, and we're going to rename our stations here. So what we can call these are tickets. Okay, so we're going to rename our tickets. So let's put this, and we're going to call this one Station 1. Okay, we're going to put this one in and call this one Station 2. And this one is going to be, you guessed it, Station 3. Simple enough. Now you're going to need at least 4 or 5 of these to start off. Okay, at the least. So then we're going to go over here. We're going to take our filter fillers and we're going to put 5 of them in each of these slots, like so. Again, over here, same thing, like that, and over here also like that. Now remember, I already pre-named these, so I renamed these already using an anvil, same way that I did with these ones. Now I would recommend that when you're putting in your filler blocks that you do go ahead and rename them to something else, such, something that's going to be obscure that only you can remember. Something like, something like this, right? That you rename it that way, so that when it comes to filling them up into your filters, they're unique and they don't end up being reproduced the same way. So that if someone does drop in something else that's called filter filler or filler block or filler or whatever the case is, it's not going to mess with your system. Okay. If you happen to have a keyboard with a different keys, that's an excellent way to use it. If other than the English language, something that's not native to your language, I would strongly try to use something like characters from different languages. That is probably the best way, because no one person has the same type of keyboard if you happen to be in a multiplayer server with people from all over the world, right? So well, now we got that set up, and what we're going to do is now we're going to put our station 1, 2, and 3 in here. So we're going to put our station 3, let's put our station 1 in here. So station 1, 2, and 3, like that, and the 1 is going to go down. So what happens is you put 3 in here, and then 1's going to fall down into this bottom hopper right over here. Now we're going to take this one here. Again, we're going to put station number 2, 1, 2, and 3, and then you have the third one going to go down, and then this one over here. I'm going to check something real quick here. Yep. So this one again over here, 1, 2, and 3, and then that goes down. There we go, and that's solid. Another thing you want to do is check to see if your items will stack. So once you've renamed them, make sure that they stack by just splitting them up and then left clicking and making sure they stack again. If they don't stack, there's probably some problem that's going to cause this to not work. Okay, so make sure that you're using stackable items. Okay, and make sure that when you rename them, after you've renamed them, there are no bugs in the system. That this can be caused by an update or whatever problem. So ensure that they continue to stack even after you've renamed them. Small little correction to my latch. I didn't notice that I had this thing placed in like so. If you have it like that, it's not going to work. You have to put it so that you're having the output coming from the redstone torch and then going into here, right? And then this one also going into the block. So from the redstone torch into the block, and on this side from the redstone torch into the block. So that was a small oversight as I was working on that. So just a small correction there. So in order to test this out, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this here. And as you can see from here, right, we have this one is already turned on in this case. So that means that we've got no power coming into here because of this redstone torch being turned off, right? So the moment that the power comes into here, this redstone torch is going to be turned off over here, and that's going to make it switch. So that means that this when it's, but that means that this side, but this side is going to be for station number 1. This one is going to be for station number 2 and 3, because when this powers this part, that's going to turn this off, and then this is going to turn off, and then this redstone torch is going to turn on, put power back in here, and while this one has already activated this, this one's going to sustain the power, and then it's going to have this turn on, your redstone torch is going to turn off, and then this is going to switch. Okay, so let's go ahead and test that theory. So let's put this over here. We're going to aim our crosshairs right into the hopper. We're going to take our station number 1 ticket, or one of them here, drop them into your hopper there, and as you can see, no effect whatsoever. It's still going straight right there. Okay, so I'm gonna, and also you'll see that it'll end up going to the chest like this. Okay, next we're gonna do is we're gonna take a station number 2. Again, it's facing in that direction, so we're gonna take a station number 2 ticket after putting our crosshairs right at the hopper up there. Put station number 2 ticket right there, and you see there it goes. It switches. As you can see, the power is coming out from this block here because of the latch is being set in this way, so that the power comes out of here and into this block, depowering the redstone torch and causing this to switch to its default or favored position, which would be from north to east in this particular situation. And again, we end up with your station number 2 that's over there like this. So let's go ahead and let's now try station number 1 again, because it's already switched. So let's put station number 1 in here. Okay, station number 1, and then you see there it switches, right? And again, you have your ticket in here. Then we'll try station number 3. Station number 3, we can have station number 3 here. Put that there. Okay, that went into the station number 3 hopper. Station number 2 hopper. Let's put this in the station number 3 hopper. That goes in, and there it switches, right? Now, if I go ahead and put station number 2 in here, nothing's going to happen because it's already switched to station number 2 and 3 destination there, and the latch is set in this configuration. However, if I put station number 1 again, see, there it goes, it switches. Okay, so now let's try this with the actual train. So we got this all set up, and we've tested it out, you know, in this way without having to fiddle around with trains too much. So, oh, I am getting confused here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our train set up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 minecarts. That's a single passenger cart with some minecarts with chests in them. And in your lead cart, guess what you're going to go? Yeah, we're going to put one of our tickets in here. Now we've already got station number 1 in there. So let's go ahead and put, let's put station number 2. So we'll see if it switches. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll launch this thing. There it goes. Now here's a small problem with this, is that you could possibly end up with some bump back in there. Now that case it didn't occur, but this is something that can sometimes happen. So what you want to do is you want to take this out. You're going to put a redstone torch over here, put a block here, take these 2 out, and then you're going to put some powered rail over here, like that. So this is going to prevent any type of bump back. So in that case it didn't happen, so we're okay. Okay. So, but it went and it switched, so we know that works. Now I'm going to take my ticket back here. Now let's go ahead and let's set up another train. Put this here, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 carts like that. We're going to put, this time, let's see, we want to go to station number 1, okay? Or let's put station number 3. What the heck? We'll put station number 3. Okay, let's put station number 3. Put that in, and away it goes. And there it goes. It still goes to the same direction because it is activated for station number 3. So next we're going to go to station number 1. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we have our 4th cart up there. Put in station number 1 ticket on the lead cart, and then we're going to put this one down. There it goes, and it switches. So now you're going to station number 1. Now look and see here, what happens if you happen to have any cargo on your train? Well, let's just see what happens with there. And this is going to work just perfectly with if you have any cargo. So let's say, I don't know, let me get some iron ore here, right? And I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to put my iron ore in one of my minecarts with a chest in it. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to put a little block here so that it doesn't go too far off. Okay. Okay, so that's our little catcher for our minecarts. Okay, that's just for this tutorial purposes. Okay, and I'm gonna, so that's there. I'm gonna go ahead and put, okay, we're set station number 1, and we'll put another one over here. So that it catches those over there. And I'm going to put, so my iron ore is there. I'm going to put station number 2 in here. Okay, put station number 2. There it goes. Your rail switches, goes there, and then it ends up stuck there. Whoop, now it has a little bit of bounce back because of that being caught. And see, over here, here's your iron ore, it's still there. Now the lead card, of course, it dropped off the ticket back over there. So let's go ahead and take our iron ore, and we'll get rid of these minecarts here. Okay, take this out. There we go. And I can take this one out too. That's just to demonstrate that this works with cargo being carried. Okay, so long as any items that you're carrying are not renamed to these here, station 1, station 2, and station 3, right? Or your filler block name, the items are not going to get taken by the system here. Now you may be thinking, hey, look, check, we still have our items that keep getting dropped into here after the train goes by. How is it that we're going to go over multiple intersections if we don't have a ticket? Well, that's for the next tutorial. So join me next time when we're going to show you how we're going to get the items from that switching mechanism where the ticket was dropped off back into the lead cart. So that's what we're going to be discussing in our next tutorial. I'm doing this in parts because of the fact that otherwise it would take a really long time to create one little video, and I don't want to have something that's going to go well over 30 minutes long. So we're going to cut this off here, and we're going to go on to the next part in the next tutorial. So I hope you guys found this informative and useful, that you'll be able to use this and the following videos in your builds. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications button. This is Check the Effects signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.